Welcome, councillors, to the annual general meeting of the Vale of Glamorgan Council on Wednesday, the 7th of May. Before I begin, just take you through some housekeeping. Prior to the commencement of the business of the committee, the chair, may I remind everyone present that the meeting is being live streamed as well as recorded via the internet, and this recording archived for future viewing. Could all participants please mute themselves when not speaking in order to avoid any background noise or feedback when other participants are speaking. If a participant wishes to speak, can they please raise their hand in person if sat in the chamber, or use the remote raise hand function. If the participant raises their hand via the remote function and is not subsequently invited to speak by the chair, please could they in turn turn their camera on to indicate or place a message in the chat function. When invited to address by the chair, please could all participants ensure that their microphone and camera is on to ensure that they can be seen and heard when actively participating. If this is not possible for any reason, please bring this to attention of the chair or under Democratic Services as soon as possible. Please ensure that all debate is raised verbally and not via the chat function for the sake of the recording. The chat function may be used to highlight any technical issues or to grab the attention of the chair or Democratic Services officer. If any participant has difficulty hearing or being heard when they are addressing the council, then they should let the chair or Democratic officer know. Thank you. Item 1. Do we have any apologies for absence? Councillor Carroll.
Councillor Russell Godfrey.
Thank you, Councillor Carroll. Do we have any other absence apologies? No. Moving on. Agenda item 2, to receive declarations of interest and the nature of such interests under the Council's Code of Conduct. Can I check if we've received any declarations? No. Okay. Agenda item 3, to elect a mayor for the ensuing municipal year in accordance with the provisions of section 22 and 23 of the Local Government Act 1972. Chief Executive, could you take us through this, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Can I ask for nominations for the office of Mayor, please, for 2025-2026?
Thank you. I wish to nominate Councillor Naomi Marshalsea.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Okay, thank you. Any other nominations? No other nominations. Okay, thank you very much. So that being proposed and seconded, the proposal is carried. So I will now ask the Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office. Yeah, would you want to say anything first?
Yes, please, thank you. Chair, fellow members and residents, as you're aware, last week I was proud to nominate my fellow Labour councillor Naomi Marshalsea as Mayor-elect for the municipal year 2025 to 2026. This is, as some of you will know, Naomi's first term as a councillor, and as already highlighted, she has made a significant impact across the ward and certainly on improving the lives of her residents. Naomi will be a mayor that leads from the front and will be a fantastic ambassador for us as fellow councillors across the county. Her ability to motivate, to engage and to represent all voices within the Vale is an undeniable asset. To secure the unanimous support of her peers to stand in her first term for this important role, which is of great value to the Vale, bears testimony to her integrity, her ethos, and how well regarded she is, and will no doubt continue to be. Again, I have no hesitation in nominating Councillor Naomi Marshalsea as Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Marnie, I can see you put your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I have to point this out every time. You should still give people an opportunity to vote against, even if there's one nominee. And I'd like to vote against. Thank you.
Yeah, that's noted, Councillor Marnie. Thank you. Okay, so if there's no other dissent, to that proposal. I'll now ask the Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office.
Thank you. I, Naomi Marshalsea, have been elected to the office of Mayor of the Vale of Glamorgan Council. Declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code for the time being as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Vale of Glamorgan Council and which may be revised from time to time. It's the 7th.
7th, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, and we'll see the consort receive their chain as well. This is my husband, Dave, if you didn't know him. When people ask me where I'm from, I'm proud to say that I'm from Barry. I've lived other places, including London, where I spent over 10 years as a teacher, but the Vale of Glamorgan is my home. While in London, I met a Barry boy and persuaded him we should put down roots here. I knew I'd made the right decision when I started working with my local community to regenerate a neglected park. Setting up Friends of Chickenwood and seeing the energy with which people wanted to come together and make something we could all be proud of has shown community at its finest. The Vale truly is the best place in the world and my forever home. And I'm so fiercely passionate about helping to make it the best place for everyone. There is so much to love here, from one of Wales' first tiny forests at Pencoetri, and the UK's smallest theatre in Barry, to Penarth's Pierside Cinema, endless walks on our Glamorgan heritage coast, and our strong can-do and want-to-do people. I want to spend the year celebrating the good that we have here. I stood for election to represent each resident where I live, knowing that each individual has an equal voice, and now I hope to do the same across the Vale for the year. As a teacher, I ensured each child was listened to, respected and supported. I adapted according to the child, as well as their families, and believe those skills can be used while stepping into the role of mayor. Like teaching, I will ensure I work my hardest and diligently. Just a few quick thank yous and then a promise. Thank you to my parents for teaching me the importance of supporting the most vulnerable and always giving me the courage to stand up for what I believe is right. To my sister for allowing me to believe in myself when I doubt it myself. It's you who got me here. As the first mother of young children appointed as Mayor of the Vale, I stand for all women as I take up this role. And so to my children, who fill me with love and fun every day, my husband and now consort David for everything, and my friends Belle and Caris for nominating and seconding me. My promise is that I'll keep putting that pride and energy into everything I do for the Vale. Thank you for giving me that chance. Moving on. Agenda item 4, to elect a deputy mayor for the ensuing municipal year. Do we have any nominations? Councillor Prothero.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to nominate Councillor Caris Stallard and reserve the right to speak, please.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Payne.
Yeah, I'd like to second Caris Stallard as Deputy Mayor.
Can you press the button, Councillor Payne? Thank you.
Got that bit.
Don't worry.
I'd like to second Caris Stallard as Deputy Mayor, please.
Do we have any other nominations? Councillor Prothero?
Thank you. Can I speak now, Mayor? Is that
You
okay?
can.
Thank you. Councillor Stallard and I have shared the ward of St Bride's as partners for the past 3 years. So I can say first-hand experience that she is super organised and a strong communicator. She's got a real passion for community engagement, and I believe her background as a journalist, her love for her Welsh heritage and language are qualities, and these are skills that are going to help her to excel in this role. Caris has been, and she's going to continue to be, a great support to me back in our ward because she is a team player, and I am sure that she is going to do exactly the same and support you, our new mayor, in her role too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Prothero. That proposal is carried, so I declare that the Deputy Mayor has been duly elected for the year 24-25.
Yr wyf fi, Caris Stallard,
I, Caris Stallard, elected to the role of Deputy Mayor of Vale of Glamorgan Council, state that I will take upon myself this role and I will undertake the roles of the position to the very best of my ability.
yr wyf yn ymrwymo
I commit to respect the code of conduct which is expected of members of the Vale of Glamorgan Council, which exist and which may be reviewed from time to time.
Councillor Marnie.
Thank you. Yet again, I'd like to point out, I'd like to cast my vote against. Otherwise, it appears the nomination was unanimous. I'd like to vote against.
No problem.
Thank you.
That's noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Councillor Penn. Well, shoes to fill here. I am lucky to have been your deputy as a colleague and friend. You have always given your all, always kind and humble with each staff member, member of the public and fellow member, which we know can be challenging at times. You have made sure you have always chaired with fairness, humour and patience, and you've made the chamber a more fun and relaxed place to be. I hope I can continue with this. Plus, I need to make sure my glasses are as cool as yours. Thank you from myself and everyone here. Relax, put your feet up, give Joe and the boys a bit more of your time. They should be very proud of you. No tears allowed. He's failed on the tears.
I cry at Bluey, so apologies. Thank you. What a fantastic honour it's been representing the council at, I don't know, 50 plus events over the year, and such a variety of events. If I may just mention some, the honouring of our veterans at Remembrance Day events and the D-Day 80th anniversary, presenting the RNLI with freeman and freewoman status of the Vale of Glamorgan, talking to school children about the role of councillors. Some of the questions they asked were very, very searching and very challenging. Some future politicians amongst them, I think. Taking part in Cowbridge Pride Parade with my family, the incredibly warm welcome from the Malayali community and enjoying their amazing food, the friendship and laughter at Barry Veterans Group, and appreciating all the talents of the Barry Male Voice Choir, Fécond Choir, the Vale of Glamorgan Brass Band, and so many other local artists and individuals. Thank you to all the community groups which do such vital work in the Vale of Glamorgan, friends and neighbours of Pioneer Hall, Barry Floral Society, and so many more. They really are the glue that holds communities together, and the friendship and warmth of welcome I experienced was greatly appreciated. Yesterday, I made my last visit, and the only one I specifically requested, which was to Tea Haven. It is a place of joy and laughter where the staff's enthusiasm and care makes such a difference to the lives of the children who come through their doors, helping children and their families to actually live well for however long their stay is. I was genuinely moved by what I saw at Tea Haven, such an amazing, peaceful location, and long may they continue their wonderful work. Of course, the other important part of the role is the formalities here in the chamber. Chairing full council has been oddly enjoyable, very educational, and at times challenging. And this could not be accomplished without guidance and support. For that, I would like to give a very big thank you to all the team in Democratic Services, but especially to Karen Bowen. Your knowledgeable advice and guidance have been exceptional. Thank you. Thank you to Charlotte Weston for organising everything throughout the year, and to Mike Tipples for your patience. Councillor Naomi Marshalsea for your help and support during full council meetings, and I wish you the very best for the coming year as Mayor. This year we have received blessings from different religious leaders from our council meetings, and I would like to thank Reverend Jimmy Young, Rabbi Michael Rose, Imam Muhammad Ibrahim, Reverend Edwin Council, and humanist celebrant Lorraine Barrett for their valued and thought-provoking contributions. As councillors, we represent our constituents. Therefore, all people should feel represented, and I hope this addition to the tradition of prayers before meetings has been a small but significant and positive change towards that. Diversity makes all our lives richer in so many ways and underpins understanding and community values. Diversity does actually bring us together. All people should feel safe in our communities, and I look forward to the Vale of Glamorgan Council continuing their work towards attaining County of Sanctuary status, and also the work and collaboration with organisations who provide support and services to others, including the LGBTQ community, domestic abuse survivors, those with disabilities, neurodivergent differences, mental health and physical health challenges. But lastly, I'd like to say thank you, and a heartfelt thank you to my partner, Joe. Without your help and support, the last year as Mayor would not have been possible. Thank you. Thank you, members. It's been an absolute honour.
Thank you, Councillor Penn. Crying again? Agenda item 5, announcements. Throughout this week, events are taking place across the country to commemorate the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day. Tomorrow, Thursday at 9 a.m. at the Civic Office forecourt, I will join the leader, chief exec and representatives from the Royal British Legion to raise a special Victory in Europe flag to commemorate this important day. The leader, chief exec and I will also be attending the Royal British Legion's wreath-laying service at 11 a.m. at the Memorial Hall in Barry. Colleagues are also welcome to attend this service to pay their respects. Later on tomorrow, we will see all colleagues in public buildings and beyond observe a national 2-minute silence at 12 p.m. Staff and colleagues at all our offices will no doubt join this moment of reflection and remembrance, and some will gather at the forecourt of the civic offices to observe this silence, and members, of course, are invited to join if you wish. Diolch. Agenda item 6, executive arrangements. Leader, can you take us through these?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is executive arrangements in relation to Cabinet membership and portfolios. It'll be a quick report as there is no change at all in Cabinet membership, and the existing portfolios will remain. There also will be only one change to the champion portfolios or champion responsibilities, and that was advised in the supplementary paper that came out, agenda item 6, amended appendix 1, and that is that Councillor Emma Goodjohn will assume the role of equalities champion. Contrary to the text within the report, these are not cabinet member responsibilities. These are backbench members who are contributing their additional skills and knowledge for the good of this council and reaching out into the communities for which they are assuming responsibility, and they've done some absolutely sterling work. Most are named, but the scrutiny champion is the chair of the scrutiny committee chairs and vice chairs group, and the member development champion will be the chair of the democratic services committee. So the recommendations for us today is that the leader inform the council of the names of councillors chosen to be deputy leader and members of the cabinet, together with their portfolios and designated champion roles, I said, and the designated champion roles. The chair of scrutiny committee's chairs and vice chairs group and chair of democratic services committee continue to be designated at the council scrutiny and member development champions respectively, and that council note, I forgot this, the senior salaries. We actually have gone down one senior salary this year. We will go to 16 senior salaries out of the 18 that we are able to appoint, and that is one less than last year. So in that we note the payments of senior salaries for 2025-26 to be set out within paragraph 2.1 of the report, and I would move we note, Mayor.
And I'll second those, Mayor.
Thank you. That is noted. Moving on to agenda item 7, non-executive arrangements. Leader, can you take us through these as well?
Thank you, Mayor. If you look at Appendix A, that lays out the complicated calculations that our democratic team have gone through to work out the makeup of each scrutiny committee, and that is laid out under paragraph or section 1, the background, and talks about sort of true entitlement, etc. Through those sort of machinations, members will note that The Labour and Plaid Cymru groups are required to give up a seat on one of the council's 4 scrutiny committees each, and those seats will fall to the 4 independent members as well as their own allowances. Attached to Appendix B is an extract from Section 7 of the Council's Constitution, which sets out the terms of reference, general role and specific functions of the scrutiny committees. Members will be aware that there was a supplementary paper for agenda item 7 distributed more recently, and that actually lays out the exact numbers of committees. As I said, the Labour group and Plaid Cymru group have to give up 1 seat each. Labour will give up 1 seat on the Live Well Scrutiny Committee, and Plaid Cymru will give up 1 seat on the Live Well Scrutiny Committee. As mentioned, the independent members are able to take up those scrutiny committees, and the offered places are indicated in the makeup of the committee subsequently. So if you have a look at each committee, there will be somebody with an asterisk by their name, and they are the independent members that are able to join. If those seats aren't taken up, they will remain vacant. Councillor Marnie has indicated he will not be taking up his allocated seat. So it's recommended that Council, in addition to the 2 recommendations for this report, also note Councillor Marnie's seat as vacant. The report also notes the chairs of the various scrutiny committees. So the Labour group has 2 scrutiny chairs, and that will be Councillor Joe Prothero will be chair of the Resources Scrutiny Committee, and Councillor Susan Lloyd-Selby will be chair of the Place Scrutiny Committee. The leader of the Conservative group has indicated his intention to retain for Councillor Rhys-Thomas to chair the Startwell Scrutiny Committee, and the Plaid Cymru group have indicated that Councillor Millie Collins will chair the Live Well Scrutiny Committee. So there are just 3 now recommendations on that. Firstly, that the scrutiny committees, together with their membership and terms of reference, be approved for the ensuing municipal year. Secondly, that the council note the allocation of specific scrutiny committee chairs as notified by the relevant group leaders as set out in paragraphs 2.1 to 2.3 of the report, and that Councillor Marnie's seat be noted as vacant, and I would move.
And I'll second those recommendations.
Thank you. Councillor Champion.
It's just a typo that it says the Conservative leader intention to retain 2 scrutinies, and it should be 1. So just for the record.
I've been told that's a mistake. Thank you for pointing it out, Councillor Champion. So that is noted. Moving on to agenda item 8, quasi-judicial committees and other bodies. Leader, can you take us through these?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is in relation to the other committees that we have, and first of all, the one committee that does have legislation to decide the size and composition of it is actually the Planning Committee, so we have to note the rules for that. Again, we're using Appendix A as the calculation relating to the political balance requirement. And if you have a look at Appendix B, there's a list of the quasi-judicial committees and other bodies, together with the existing terms of reference. It also includes the membership of the bodies, and as was circulated earlier. So you've got a supplementary report similar to the others that was circulated more recently. And that lays out the membership as has been agreed by the groups within the council. There is one slight change that I have to make to the membership of those committees. And if you look at the Governance and Audit Committee on, can't see what page number, but probably page 4, the membership there, Llantwit Major Firsts are required to lose one seat, and so Councillor Jane Norman will be giving up her seat on that committee. And then on the following page in the Welsh Church Act Estate Committee, Councillor Hooper will be replaced by Councillor Cowp. So from that, there are 2 recommendations that the quasi-judicial committees and other bodies, together with their terms of reference, which is Appendix B, and membership, are set out in the supplementary information to be circulated, what that was circulated prior to the meeting, be appointed for the ensuing municipal year. And secondly, that Council take into account the need to comply with the size and composition of local planning authorities, Wales Regulations 2017, in determining the size and composition of the planning committee. And I'd move.
And I'll second those recommendations.
Thank you. Those are noted. Agenda item 9, to note the dates of ordinary meetings for full council this year. You've all been given these in the agenda. These dates are noted. Agenda item 10, to elect chairs and vice chairs for committees for this municipal year. Leader?
I think it's worth noting, first of all, in terms of agenda item 10, that there are certain committees that are not included in the designation of chairs and vice chairs, because they have their own rooms, their own rules. So whereas, say, with scrutiny committees, the chairs have been determined, there will be appointments of vice chairs, etc., at the next committee. And so they are laid out there. But then I think that we need to move to the nominations for the various committees. And I just need to check. Would that be me doing that? So I'll hand back over to the Chief Executive for the process for nominations for chairs and vice chairs.
Chief Exec is going to take us through these. We will be voting on block. Chief?
Yeah, thank you. And just to confirm that it's been agreed with the 4 group leaders that we will take votes on a group basis, so by block basis, and I'll bring the 4 independent members in individually for each nomination. So the first committee is the Appeals Committee. So do I have any nominations for the chair of the Appeals Committee, please? Leader?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Ian Buckley, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations, please? No other nominations. So on that basis, that is carried. Can I just ask for the record if there's anybody who wishes to vote against or abstain from that? No? Okay, thank you. Next item is Community Liaison Committee. So do we have any nominations for... Sorry, Vice Chair. Getting ahead of myself. So do we have any nominations for Vice Chair? Leader, please.
Councillor Susan Lloyd-Selby, please, Mayor.
And do we have...
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations for the Vice Chair role? No. And can I again check for the record that there's nobody who wants to vote against or abstain? No. So Councillor Susan Lloyd. Councillor Marnie.
Councillor Marnie?
Yeah, I'll abstain, please. Sorry about that. And the previous one as well. My connection went off on me now. I'd like to abstain on the previous one as well, please.
And would you like to do that on all of them, Councillor Marnie?
I think it probably would, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, we've noted that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So Councillor Susan Lloyd-Selby is carried as Vice Chair of Appeals. Community Liaison Committee. Do we have any nominations for Chair, please?
Councillor Rhiannon Birch, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other nominations for Chair of Community Liaison Committee? No? Okay. Chair of Community Liaison Committee is confirmed as Councillor Rhiannon Birch. Any nominations for Vice Chair of the same committee, please? Leader?
Councillor Mark Wilson, please.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Wilson is carried as the Vice Chair of Community Liaison Committee. Next one is Democratic Services Committee. Leader?
Councillor Ian Johnson, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Councillor Charles?
It is now. I'd like to nominate Councillor George Carroll, please.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second.
And can I ask if there's any other nominations? No? Okay, on that basis, can I go through each group in turn then? First of all, can I ask for Plaid Cymru's vote in respect of Councillor Johnson? I'm sorry, I have to ask.
Cynghorydd Ian Johnson.
Councillor Ian Johnson, please.
Councillor Carroll?
Councillor Carroll.
Thank you. Again, I have to ask. Llantwit first, please. Councillor Williams?
Councillor Williams. Agreed.
Just come on now.
Thank you very much. Councillor Burnett, Labour.
Councillor Johnson, please.
Councillor Perry.
Hi, good evening. I'll go for Councillor Johnson too, please.
Councillor Campbell.
Councillor Johnson.
Councillor Morgan.
Councillor Johnson, please.
And I will bring you in, Councillor Marnie, because we've been through every group and member.
To be perfectly honest with you. Thank you.
That's carried for Councillor Johnson, who is elected as Democratic Services Committee Chair, and in terms of the votes, 40 to 12 with one abstention. So Councillor Johnson is elected as Chair of the Democratic Services Committee. Can I have nominations for Vice Chair, please? Leader.
Councillor Neil Thomas, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Can we have any other nominations, if there are any, please? No. Councillor Neil Thomas is elected as Vice Chair of the Democratic Services Committee. Next committee is the Discretionary Housing Payments Review. So can we have a nomination, please, Leader?
Councillor Howard Hamilton, please.
And I'll second that.
Any other nominations? No. Okay, Councillor Howard Hamilton is elected as Chair of the Discretionary Housing Payments Review Committee. Any nominations for Vice Chair, please?
Councillor Julie Lynch-Wilson, please.
And I'll second that.
Any other nominations? No. Councillor Julie Lynch-Wilson is elected as Vice Chair of Discretionary Housing Payments Review Committee. Next committee is Early Retirement and Redundancy Committee. Any nominations, please, Leader?
Councillor Pamela Drake, please.
And I'll second that.
Any other nominations, please? No. In that case, Pamela Drake is elected as Chair of the Early Retirement and Redundancy Committee. Nominations for Vice Chair, please.
Councillor Howard Hamilton, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No. In which case, Councillor Hamilton is elected as Vice Chair of Early Retirement and Redundancy Committee. Next committee is the Glamorgan Heritage Coast Advisory Committee. Leader?
Councillor Caris Stallard, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other nominations, please? In that case, Councillor Caris Stallard is elected as Chair of Glamorgan Heritage Coast Advisory Committee. Can we have any nominations for Vice Chair of that committee, please? Leader?
Councillor Emma Goodjohn, please.
And I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Emma Goodjohn is elected as Vice Chair of Glamorgan Heritage Coast Advisory Committee. Next committee is the Investigating Committee. Leader?
Councillor Helen Payne, please.
And I'll second that.
Any other nominations, please? No. Councillor Helen Payne is elected Chair of the Investigating Committee. Can we have nominations for Vice Chair, please?
Councillor Catherine Yanucci Williams, please.
And I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Yanucci Williams is elected Vice Chair of Investigating Committee. Planning Committee, any nominations, please?
Councillor Neil Thomas, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No, in which case Councillor Thomas is elected as Chair of Planning Committee. Can we have nominations for Vice Chair, please?
Councillor Mark Wilson, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Wilson is elected as Vice Chair of Planning Committee. Public Protection Licensing Committee.
Councillor Pamela Drake, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Drake is elected Chair of Public Protection and Statutory Licensing Committee. Nominations for Vice Chair, please. Leader?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Jane Norman, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Norman is elected as Vice Chair of Public Protection and Licensing Committee. Senior Management Appointments Committee.
Am I correct in assuming that the Chair of the Senior Management Appointments Committee is the leader and the vice chair is the deputy leader?
Yes, that is correct. So can we note that for the record, please? Statutory Licensing Committee. Leader.
This would be the same as the Public Protection Licensing Committee. Do we need to take nominations for that?
No, it's usually the same chair and vice, so if members are happy with that as well. Thank you. Next committee is the Trust Committee. Leader.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Howard Hamilton, please.
And I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations, please? No. Councillor Hamilton is elected as chair of the Trust Committee. And nominations for vice chair, please? Leader.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Mark Wilson, please.
Do we have any other...
I'll second that.
Apologies, Deputy Leader. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair? No. Councillor Wilson is thereby elected vice chair of the Trust Committee. Voluntary Sector Joint Liaison Committee. Leader.
If I could nominate Councillor Rhiannon Birch, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Birch is elected as chair of the Voluntary Sector Joint Liaison Committee. Nominations for vice chair, please. Leader.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Ian Buckley, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Buckley is elected vice chair. And finally, Welsh Church Act Estates Committee. Leader.
If I could nominate Councillor Mark Wilson, please.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. And do we have any other nominations? No. Councillor Wilson is elected as chair of Welsh Church Act Estates Committee. And nominations for vice chair, please.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Pamela Drake, please.
And I'll second that.
And do we have any other nominations? No. In which case, Councillor Drake is elected Vice Chair of Welsh Church Act Estates Committee. And that concludes item 10. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Agenda items 11 and 12. It's 6:53, folks. I have no urgent items under part 1, no urgent items under part 2. I therefore bring this meeting to a close. Diolch yn fawr.